Hi y'all, this is House Guest and I am your host, Kenzie Elizabeth. Think a Gen Z wannabe Martha Stewart meets Dolly Parton trying to live in a Nancy Meyers movie in her 20s. We talk all about life, relationships, navigating your 20s, closing out the bars, or waking up at 5 a.m. depending on our vibe that week. Ultimately, living our best lives and figuring it out along the way. So come hang out. Sometimes I have guests on who do really cool things, some of my best friends, or it's just me and my house that I spend way too much time in. So let's get into the show. Hi, y'all. Welcome back to the show. I am recording here from my home in Dallas, Texas. If y'all are watching on YouTube, we are in my little Dallas studio. There's some bags in the back. Sure. Okay. That's because I'm an entrepreneur. Okay. I'm working on some gifting for a little press cooking class we're doing for a friend of mine next week because I'm leaving today for Los Angeles. I'm going on a little weekend trip away, which it's very out of character for me to go to LA for a weekend trip away. I'm normally trying to get away from LA, you know? But this weekend, honestly, it just kind of happened and we wanted to go see Dom and we're going to see a couple friends. It's going to be a fun weekend, okay? Before that, I'm heading off to Kate Davis's house, which Kate Davis is the most fabulous woman in the world. If you guys don't know who that is, you're living under a rock. Also, listen to our podcast episode together. She came on House Guest last probably December, and it's such a good episode, just behind the real life of Kate Davis, okay? Anyways, I'm wearing this really cute outfit, my little rodeo belt. Look at my cute little shoes. You would see this if you're watching on YouTube, which you need to be. Every single podcast episode is on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. It's the best way to consume podcasts. It really just is. Anyways, I'm going to Kate Davis's house. That gift is for her. We are filming a little Home of Mine series, which is a new video series that we're doing for my home brand, friend of mine, where I go over and do a little house tour with friends of mine. So really cute, really fun. Stay tuned for that. Anyways, I did make a list of a couple things that I wanted to say to you guys because I'm so organized. Literally the most organized girl in the entire world. Right now, vlogs are a 10 out of 10. I don't know, guys. YouTube is back. YouTube never left, but it is back and better than ever. And that is because I discovered a new font, okay? My vlogs have never looked better. And I swear this new font and this new music, it gave me the burst of energy and the burst of like creative motivation that I needed. And I'm loving them. If you guys want to see what I do in Los Angeles this weekend, youtube.com/Kenzie Elizabeth. Maybe you guys don't know that actually. If you're listening to the podcast, I actually started on YouTube. I've been on YouTube for 10 years. So YouTube was really my first love. And then, we found podcasting and I love podcasting. But the vlogs are a 10 out of 10, okay? If I do say so myself. Another thing that I need to let you guys know is that I'm actually training for a 10K now. Really crazy life update. I was training for a 5K. I completed that. And now I'm training for a 10K. I have a 5-mile run this week, which, listen, I totally understand like what 10K is, but the fact that I'm already having to run 5 miles just seems like a little brutal. And I don't know if I can do that. Like the furthest I've run is 4 miles. So I don't know how I feel about that. Like I really, really don't. On today's episode, we have Emily and Margo back on the podcast. They came on last summer for a book episode. I will link that below. Go watch that one as well. So many good book recs and also good combos and all those things. I have a little book series going on where every couple of months we do a full episode on books because I love reading, okay? This episode is the book episode of all book episodes because it is a book master list episode. So every genre, and by every genre, I mean the ones that we like, we are giving our top 5 favorite books, also like some popular opinions, some, it gets good. This is for the reader girlies, and this is also for the girlies who want to be reader girlies, okay? It's such a good episode, and also it's just like fun girl catch-up talk. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into the episode. If you have not already, subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave a nice rating and review, and follow us on Instagram. Also, by the way, I really actually need good book recs. I just read in the past week and a half, probably read like 3 or 4 books that have all actually been bangers. Those are all at KE Book Club. I was in a book reading rut. Now I'm back at it, but I need good book recs. So if you are listening to this, please comment your number 1 favorite book on just my recent Instagram post. Whatever it is, that's just where I'm going to see it quickest, which is Kenzie Elizabeth. I need book racks because I'm really on this reading streak and like we can't let it go. All right. My Goodreads reading goal is loving me right now and I need y'all's help. So anyways, also if you're listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube, leave it in the YouTube comments. Anyways, without further ado, let's welcome Emily and Margo back to the show. Welcome back, part 2.
Yay.
Yay.
We did it, guys.
We made it. I think it's almost exactly a year later, too.
I was about to say.
Today we're doing a masterless book episode. So these are all top books. And Emily is actually, of course, I think we even said this in the last episode. You can check me on this. You're so prepared and responsible. You even went back and listened to the first one.
To make sure that we weren't repeating ourselves.
Yeah, I just wanted to find my list because I was like, I can't say the same 5 books, but we're good.
Okay, good. Well, she's probably read about 700 since then.
I know.
To pick from.
I fear you're more prepared than I am.
However, I was going through my list this year and very few 5-star books. So
by the way, I have to say, can we talk about that?
2024 has been a bad
There's
reading
a
year.
new pandemic.
No, I think
And it's terrible books.
I disagree.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I think it's
She disagrees.
I think I said this last time. I didn't re-listen to this part, but it's becoming more mature as a reader. I think that you like things less.
Oh, like our taste is more
Like, all the books that
qualified.
are a
We're
little
becoming
bit
Jackie.
We're becoming Jackie.
Which is what we've
Yeah.
always said. Like
That's
older,
true.
eventually when I have kids, I'm going to start reading historical fiction.
I've started reading historical fiction because of the redheads. I feel like I read historical fiction like more often than not now.
Yeah, you do.
And actually, like, I quite enjoy.
Mhm.
I quite enjoy.
A lot of the books that we used to binge, I think if you reread them now, you would hate them.
Oh,
Which scares me. That's
for
why I don't want to
sure.
go back and reread.
I
a lot of
agree.
them.
And that's why I'm kind of scared of some of mine because I just did all time just based on how much I loved the book.
yeah.
And I think if I were
Time
to
and
read
place.
some of these, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I just want to say before we get into our list, like I'm not married to this list. I know this episode was my idea, but it wasn't. Sorry, guys, it was very stressful.
Wait, 100.
You will not be held accountable.
100%. Like, I am not married to this list. I don't claim this list
Mhm.
after this episode comes out. My opinions are constantly changing, and I couldn't agree more. I'm
Yeah.
so glad you said that.
Okay.
Should you share a book
Yeah.
that you hate just to get? I just feel like you have to like.
Archer's Voice.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
always my number one. That like I literally.
Did you
And
read
by the
that?
way, I bet you if I like
didn't
reread
like
it,
either.
I would be like, okay, this isn't like that bad.
I
but
actually disagree. I think you would think it's worse.
I
Oh.
actually think you would hate it even more than the first time.
Oh, okay. So then never mind. Yeah, just something about that book. And you wanna know what like is so upsetting to me though, is that like it's some people's favorite book. So I'm like, wow, that's so
There's
crazy
a
that we
singular person you're talking about, and if she reread it, don't think it'd be
our
her
mutual
favorite book.
friend
Yeah.
that I work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I read it because of her.
Same.
Yeah.
But
There's a lot of people who love that book.
There's a
still,
lot of people who
Yeah.
that read it recently.
Yeah, I had someone on the podcast today who has similar book taste as me and loved it.
Oh, interesting.
It's well, I guess maybe not still. I guess it was like, well, Kit just posted that she loved it,
I know.
and Margo tagged me.
I
Commented on it. I'm
know.
like,
We never talked about that because also like the author commented, not on mine, like on Kit's post.
Did you write it?
Guys,
You just
I
wrote
was
at Kenzie
scared.
Elizabeth.
I think I said I was like LOL at Kenzie, like just because we have an inside joke about it now. Like
Who wrote it?
Mia Sheridan.
Is she like a well-known author?
I feel like
probably because of that book. What was the other book that we hated so much that we would always send back and forth when people would talk about it and review it? There was like 2 or 3.
I thought it was
before
always
Voice.
Archer's Voice.
But honestly, no. Here's the thing.
Probably
we,
an Emily
we
Henry
hated
book.
Archer's Voice so much that it
just took
the other
over.
one.
Yeah, I'm not an Emily Henry girly.
I'm not either.
I'm not.
So was
Like
it
when
one
I
of
see
those
that
or
she,
no?
it wasn't one of those. Because honestly, I think I've only read like 2 books. Because like now I'm just like when it comes out, I just like no, I'm not gonna love it, so I'm not gonna bother. But also when redoing my master list though of like the top my like all time, there's one book that like came up that I really want to reread because I actually think I'm gonna like it more now because I read it when I was like in high school and it's like a book, you know?
What book?
Night Road by Kristen Hanna.
It's a
Yeah.
book that
I don't want to
feels like a
reread
book.
it.
Oh, I kind of want to reread it.
I don't know if
I was
would.
really young when I read it. Like, I don't think I truly like appreciated it. Like, I think I should reread it.
Okay, I'd be curious to
Did you ever
see
read
what you
it?
think.
No, but what is it about?
I don't even remember.
I
Okay.
do.
Of course.
And I have book I have book amnesia, I remember.
I remember like the thing, like the twist.
girl ends
no,
up-
I don't want.
I'm not
I don't want.
No, she's not.
No,
spoiling
I'm gonna.
it.
No,
she's
but I'm gonna
telling the
reread
summary
it.
of the
By
book.
the way, I don't believe in like reading summaries. It gives it
Or-
away.
I'm not giving it's the car crash. You know that. It starts off with a car crash.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then there's like
So you do remember.
I told you I remember the twist.
Yeah. It's a
It's
good
really
book.
good. Oh, you should read
yeah,
that.
I need to read it.
You should.
I've
read that.
honestly been in like such a book funk this
Me too.
year.
Wow. Wait, so how
So
did
bad.
you guys put together your list for this episode?
What do you
how
mean?
did you go
Goodreads
through
and I did
it?
top rated.
Oh no, I just went through like my whole library.
on
books
Kindle.
on Kindle.
Should we start?
Yeah, probably.
Which one do you want to do first?
Should we start with like
Romance.
romance?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I kind of like put romance and smut together in my head.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same.
They're roughly the same, but also there is going to be some overlap. Like some of my all-time are romance.
I have that issue too.
Yeah. But for romance, I had It Happened One Summer, Tessa Bailey.
You know what? If I were to have guessed what actually 2 books on your list, that would have been the first one.
What would have been the second?
Things You Never Got Over, Lucy Score.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you could definitely get my third one. I made you read it and you were like, this is
To
the
Love
best book.
Jason Thorne.
Yup.
That's on my actual thing too.
Yeah.
I just gave that rec earlier. God,
It's
that's
so
book.
good.
It's a good book.
It's a good
that
book.
book. I loved that book, and I loved Hey Adam Counter.
Me too. Me too. Did you read the sequel? You're not a sequel girly.
I know.
I'm
And
such a sequel girl.
When we
I
get
never
to that
really-
part, I'm gonna opt out.
Oh, you're not doing top series?
No. Sorry.
You just hate a series.
For what? What about when you fall in love with the book and then you get to read more about it?
I just never
If
want
you're
to
It's the
gonna
best
read
feeling.
them start to finish, fine. But if you're not gonna, and if the characters are like somewhat in the other book, that's also okay. But if it like comes out years later and it's like the sequel or the prequel or something, I'm not gonna remember it. I'm gonna reread the book. I'm gonna hate it the second time I read it, and then I'm not gonna like the next one. It's really.
I don't know if that's true. And also, while we talk about we'll get to the series part. We'll get there.
Emily, move your mic a little bit closer.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Closer.
Better? Yeah. And then I also had, so those were my 3. And then I had In 5 Years, Rebecca Searle.
See, I didn't like that book. Isn't that
I did.
crazy?
Oh, I did. And
Every
then
one of them. I'm raw.
Didn't love, but I liked it.
Before We Were Strangers, Renee Carlino.
Yep.
I have that too.
And then Love in Other Words, Christina Lauren.
Mine is
That
Things We
fucking
Never Got
book.
Over, Lucy Score. Love in Other Words, Christina Lauren. I actually took Before We Were Strangers off of this to not have overlap, and I moved it to a different list, but it
Okay.
was on there. The Last Letter, Rebecca Yarros.
Oh, yeah, you loved that book.
I loved that book, and I actually want to take Before
you
We Were.
did too. You loved that book. It was okay.
I actually think you did too. because
What
I
was
gave
it about?
I gave you the rec, and I was really anxious about it.
Yeah.
No,
'cause
you
I
gave
hate
me
giving
you gave me
Fs.
that one Rebecca Yarros book about like the plane.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh
Do you know what I'm talking about?
no, that one is
In the
also-
Likely Event or something?
Yeah, that's on my list too.
That was good. It wasn't great. What was the
I
last
love that
letter?
one.
That no,
No,
That's
you
the
loved
book.
The Last Letter.
What was it about?
that's the plane.
Yeah.
No, what?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Can
it
someone
is.
just tell me what the hell
with
it's
the
about?
Older couple, and then you find out that it wasn't the same person. The guy she was like married to someone who died.
Wait, no,
They're
that's
telling the love
That's one.
story.
That's
the mailbox one.
Yes.
That's different. That's not The Last Letter.
guys. What
That's the
I don't believe you because why would
No, it
there
was
not
because
be a
Margo
mailbox
made that book
called Letter?
popular. You
Margo what?
made that book popular.
Which
You just
one?
want to hear it again?
Say it louder.
Do you want me to like read
Made
that
what book
again?
popular?
The mailbox one.
What the hell is the
Rebecca Yarros.
mailbox box one?
There's a mailbox on the cover.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What the hell is it?
I don't know.
The things we leave unfinished?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Why is every book title just a
The
bunch
Things.
of random words put together?
No, it's like the things.
And there's like 15 words you can choose from, and then it's literally like they have little word magnets
They have a
on
word
fridge,
magnet. Yeah.
and they're just like moving them around.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is.
So true.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna put Before We Were Strangers back on my list if we're gonna
Okay.
overlap.
Okay.
And then, okay, really random one, and I'm not really so confident this is truly top 5 romance, but Meant to Be Emily Giffin. I love that one, and I think
Mm.
about it a lot, and I've thought
Mhm.
about it a lot since reading it, so I figured it was fair.
She wrote Something Borrowed, right?
I think so. I haven't read the book.
She read Something Borrowed, like the
She
movie?
wrote it, yeah.
That's what I meant.
She read
That's
it.
what I meant.
That's my favorite movie, so I accept that.
Meant to
Okay.
Be was really good. I enjoyed it.
I'm
And
glad
I
that you
loved
guys
like the
approve.
JFK,
Yeah, we approve.
Carolyn Bessette.
Yeah, if you guys haven't read Meant to Be Emily Giffin and you love, if you're fascinated by the Kennedys, you have to read that book.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's very loosely based off of like Caroline Bessette. It's so
It's so good.
My turn?
Mhm.
Okay. I have Before We Were Strangers as well. Swear on This Life.
Oh, I
I
forgot
love
about
that
that
one.
one. That's a
Yeah,
good one.
It's underrated.
Yes.
I also have To Love Jason Thorne. Don't Forget to Write. She's my new favorite author.
She's
I'm
literally
obsessed
like
with her.
Emily is.
I'll get
obsessed
into
with
it,
her.
but she's such a good writer, and none of it's corny. It's all about Jews.
Yeah,
she's
true. So true.
She's so good. And then I had Nora Goes Off Script. Remember, that was a cute book.
Yeah,
It's not,
but
like,
that's not
top
worthy
5.
putting on a list.
No, but it was like runner up. It was good. I
Okay.
liked it. I enjoyed
We're all
it.
entitled.
'Tis the Season for Revenge, because I want that to happen to me.
You loved
I
that book
loved
so
that
much.
book.
That talk about corny.
Wait, is that the
Yeah.
country?
No,
Well,
that's like they met at like a holiday party, like a corporate
And
holiday
he
party.
brings her to the holiday party.
Oh yeah,
It's
and
just about
like,
revenge, and I love revenge. It's so good.
Okay.
I do love
Yeah, it's a
revenge.
good book.
Like in life,
She's
too.
plotting.
Yeah,
She's always plotting.
No, she met She Loves Revenge in real life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
yeah. So those are my top 5.
That's a
Those are
good list.
Those are good.
That's a really good list. I feel good about that one.
Me
Yes.
too. That feels
I don't
strong.
know why Swear on This Life isn't talked about more.
Yeah.
It's
If only I remembered what it was about.
I read it in 2020 and I remember loving
It's
it.
about a book and an author.
It's what?
I'm pretty sure it's about an author.
Oh.
Like it's I love books that are also based.
I thought you said
on
it's
books.
by a book and an author, and I was like, what? Yeah, it's Renee Carlino.
Yeah.
And yes, I remember loving that book, but I couldn't remember what it was about, so I didn't put it on my list. But I read it like 4 years ago. I went through.
Yeah.
We both went through.
We went through the same phase. It was during
Renee
COVID.
Carlino. Yeah, it was 2020. We went through a Renee.
There was also
Carlino
that
phase.
book by Renee Carlino. It was about like the painter. Remember?
Wow, I have
Mhm.
2 of her books on my.
She's
top
great. Has she
5.
written a new book recently? I'd
Yeah,
love
by
to
the way,
read it.
I got the advanced reader's copy and I cried. It was so good.
Shut up.
It follows this couple. It was so good, and it follows this couple that breaks up and they're going through a divorce. It's called This Used to Be Us, and it's like going back and forth between their story, and it's depressing. Like sometimes I want like a really depressing, sad romance book that's like make me sob, and
Yeah.
that did that for me.
Oh,
I really
Wow.
liked it,
Okay,
though.
and it wasn't corny.
No, not at all.
Well, she's not really.
She's not very
either,
corny.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the corniest author?
Colleen Hoover.
No,
No, there's so much cornier
Who?
than that.
she's not that bad.
Who? Oh, I thought you were answering the question.
I don't know, but Colleen Hoover's not that bad.
In my
Colleen Hoover
defense,
is like
I
just a
haven't
gateway
read
drug.
one. Yeah,
to
she's a
read.
gateway drug. I haven't read. Unsure if she's come out with a new book. I doubt it, but because she's been busy. But I haven't read a Colleen Hoover book in a little bit. I
hasn't come out with
reread
a new
It
book.
Ends With Us.
Yeah, and I hated it.
and I hated it. Yeah.
Great.
But it was one of my favorite books ever.
Same. I loved it, and I read it in 2020, and I don't want to reread it because I don't want to ruin it for myself.
Don't.
But honestly, I love Colleen Hoover, and I love what Colleen Hoover has done for reading, and I love that
It's such a
coming
good
back into
point.
It like she's done so many amazing things, and I'm a huge fan.
But like now, like my it girl is Rebecca Yarros.
Me too.
I would take a bullet.
Me too. But did you read Fourth Wing's sequel?
Yeah.
Did you
Iron
like it?
Flame.
Oh,
I
I
did.
forgot
literally
she
hated it.
wrote them. Wow.
No,
Wait, by the way, I
Talk
did
about
like
someone who can do anything.
so
Yeah,
versatile.
she's, like,
No, when I finished
versatile.
the Things We Left Unfinished, whatever, and I read that, and then I read the Things We something down the street. I don't know. And then I read Fourth Wing. When I realized after reading Fourth Wing that was the same author, it was like I found out Santa Claus wasn't real or something. Like it was the crazy. I remember where I was standing. I couldn't believe that the same author wrote the same
Yeah.
two books.
Wait, so it's not on either of your lists though?
Oh, it is.
Fourth Wing?
Oh, but it's on a different list.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
It's not romance.
I guess. I mean, maybe it's kind of romance, but it's also like fantasy. I just put it on all time and series.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. Okay, let's move on to thriller.
Okay, this was hard for me because I don't really read a lot of thrillers, but then it made me realize when I was doing it that the books that I put, I really enjoyed. So maybe I should read more thriller.
You
Mhm.
always say that, and you always like them. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think you
true.
definitely should read more.
But like, also, I don't really like to read things that give me anxiety because like life is anxious enough. And like the suspense, like, I don't know, kind of freaks me out.
It's not like it's suspense for a week. Like it's what, an hour?
Okay. But who wants unwanted anxiety?
Yeah, I guess.
You know?
Yeah, but they all have like if they're domestic thrillers, they have like the
What does that mean,
romance.
domestic?
It's like housewife stuff.
Yeah, which-
Oh.
So they have that plot line, which I feel like you like. So it's like a mix of both.
Yeah. I had Flicker in the Dark, Stacey Willingham.
I
Same.
love that one.
Love. And then I had On a Quiet Street,
Same.
Serafina Novaglass. And then I had The Housemaid, Frida McFadden.
Okay.
That's good. Emily?
I had Little Secrets, which I will not reread because
Same.
I thought it was the best book ever.
Should I read it?
And that's on my list
Ever.
too.
I
will-
mean, I guess, yeah.
Who wrote it?
Jennifer Hiller,
yeah.
who her other books have not even come close to it, but I won't reread it.
It's the same author as The Butcher. Remember that like random
Wait,
Jar of Hearts? That's actually
wait,
on my list, by the
Wait,
way.
I never finished that book, which like not in a DNF
Because
kind
you
of way.
actually liked it. That was
Yes,
weird.
not in a
What?
DNF, The Butcher. Not in a DNF kind of way. It was like I remember I started it on a plane ride like years ago, and then like and I started it on my phone, and like it just like wasn't part of my like Kindle repertoire, and I just never got around to finishing it. But now I'm like, do I restart it?
I've never even heard of it.
Okay, so there's this book. It's actually on my list. The Butcher, Jennifer Hillier. It's like I read pretty much every Jennifer Hillier book after I read Little Secrets because I loved that book so much.
So
like it
good.
really, I feel the same
I think
way.
that was one of the books that like we spoke about when we first became
Yes.
friends. It was like the first book we had in common.
I agree.
And I'm picturing it when we were eating Chipotle. You were having like Chick-fil-A at Stagecoach in that living room. Taco Bell. You were
right,
having.
like
You
3
were
years
having
ago.
Taco
Oh my
Bell.
God. Who's
Wow,
having Taco
what
Bell?
a good memory.
She was. We were having Chipotle.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I'm like, I was there.
That sounds right. Yeah, you were definitely there. yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah, you were
Okay.
there somewhere. So I read Little Secrets, and then once I like an author, I read every single book by them.
Mhm.
And The Butcher, I mean, if you saw the cover, you'd be like, what are you guys reading? It was so random. But
Mhm.
Margo, there's no, talk about anxiety, there's no worse anxiety than Margo reading a book based off your recommendation.
Couldn't agree.
Because she will
more.
literally beat you up. if she doesn't
Couldn't
like it.
agree.
She'll punch you in
more.
the face.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
am like, please don't read it. Like, please, please, please.
Yeah.
But she read it, and I'm like, that's the most random book I've ever read. And I loved it because it was very unique.
Mhm.
But Margo reading it and then her liking it, I mean, I'll never forget it because it was the most shocking experience.
It's
of my
scary.
life.
It's scary.
You know what book that we read that you didn't recommend it because we chose it together that I really didn't enjoy?
The one that we hated.
American Duchess.
You know what? By the way, you picked that book.
We.
No, it was a book club thing.
We-
and you picked it up. I would have never picked American Duchess. This is when you were in your like monarchy vibe.
I heard,
Yeah.
thing.
yeah, I think that's up your alley, and I heard it was good.
I didn't like
We
it.
hated it.
Yeah.
We literally despised it. I couldn't even tell you what happened in the book. And
I
don't think
can't tell you
could
what happened either.
Okay,
We
wait, so
hated it.
back to The Butcher. Should I read it?
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
just let us know how it holds up.
You only did 3.
yeah. Just I just haven't read that many.
Okay.
That's fine.
Little Secrets. The Chestnut Man is one of my favorite books. It's like a Swedish crime novel, so it's kind of like creepy and eerie, but it's really,
It's a
really
Swedish
intricate and good. A Flicker in the Dark,
Mm-hmm.
On a Quiet Street, and Strange Sally Diamond. I love.
Would you call
book.
that a thriller?
Yeah, because it's like a mystery.
Okay, I enjoyed that book as well. Did you read it?
Mm-mm.
It's
Mm.
so good.
Was that a Redhead's pick?
Yeah, it was my pick.
Oh, that's so weird. I
You
normally
definitely
read
should
your
read it. It's an
picks.
amazing book.
It was a really good book. It was definitely a departure from my normal picks.
Do you feel as though you have the best pick so far?
Yes, well, I am number one.
Good.
like factually.
Yeah, no, Jackie has every time. You guys clearly don't listen, but like at
No,
the
I
end of
actually
every-
do.
Yeah, no, that they
At the
rate.
end,
Yeah.
she rates it
The
and
little
then she
sheet.
puts it into her sheet
Yeah.
and sees where it lies. And for the most part, I believe I'm top heavy.
Mm.
I am also bottom heavy. I have had some flops, but like I'm top heavy. I think I have more tops than most people.
Well, I remember you flopped with the Simple Wild, which I'll never understand.
And what was it called? Bright Sky.
Guys, The Simple Wild, I love
You
that
told me to
series. I don't
choose
even
it.
care.
Remember?
I told you to choose the Simple Wild.
Yeah, but also that's on my series one. But you Bright Side.
I don't even know what that is.
I remember Brightside.
Yeah, it was not.
Not
Wait,
good.
I read it because of that. Do you like The Simple Wild or hated it?
Love.
Loved it. It's
Loved
one of my
it.
top series.
Me too.
Love.
Yeah.
Me too. Loved.
That
I
is
don't
the.
think I read the other ones though.
I did. I read all of them.
Oh, I read all of them. Even the novella. I read every single second.
Yeah.
I would read
Couldn't
more
get
if I could, by the
enough.
way. If there was
Yeah.
like a spin-off book, I'd be there right now.
No, I
Yeah.
loved it. I wanted to move to Alaska.
No.
Yeah, same.
Literally. Okay, so I need to change mine because wait, what's the first one that you guys?
A Flicker in the Dark.
Flicker in the Dark.
Yeah.
I'm adding that to mine because I love that book so much.
Yeah.
The Butcher, Jennifer Hillier, Little Secrets. Okay, weirdly, I know people don't like this one, but I love The Inmate, Frida McFadden. The end of it had too much whiplash, I will say, but I loved that book and it was so weird and I never expected what was going to happen.
I've read most of hers. I don't know.
I didn't read that.
You wouldn't pick it
Wait,
if
what's
you
it
were
about?
reading this person who like gets sent to jail and this woman like has to work in the jail and then she has some connection to them and then it just goes throughout. I don't
I
want to
don't
ruin
think so.
it.
They do all kind
Mesh
of
together.
Yeah.
You know the whole. I mean, we've already talked about this.
We
like,
did.
before,
We
so I'm
did.
not
Yeah,
gonna
we
go there.
did.
But yeah, okay. And then my last one. Actually, I have two. When She Returned, Lucinda Berry, one of my favorite thrillers ever, and it's about this woman who goes
like her.
missing for like 12 years or something. She has a husband and a daughter. She just goes missing. They think she was murdered or kidnapped or something. And she comes back, and it turns out that she actually was in a cult. And it like goes through the whole
Wait,
thing.
I'm
It's so
obsessed.
interesting. It was such
What's
a
it
good
called?
book. When She Returned,
Okay. I'm
It
jotting
was
down.
so good. Like one of the
Wow.
best books
In the
ever.
Butcher.
And then I also liked Local Woman Missing by Mary.
Loved
Kubica?
Kubica.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually, when I was like going through the episode, and I didn't listen through, but I just went to certain parts, and I went to a part that said that you didn't like Sally Hepworth,
Yeah.
and I just read a book
don't.
by her. I liked it. Why don't you like her?
I don't know. I just like couldn't because Jackie had recommended like 2 books to me like 2 years ago, and I just like can't get into it. And then I did it. I did it for a book club once, and like no one at the book club liked it, which is weird because I know everyone loves Sally Hepworth.
I confuse her, Lucinda Berry, and Mary Kubica. That's why I brought it up. Like they just have the same titles.
Yeah, very similar vibes. I mean, it's not hard when it's like on a fridge and there's magnets and there's like.
Well,
throwing
also
them around.
the covers of their books all look the same.
Yeah,
How was Darling
Lucy
Girls?
Foley too.
I really liked it.
Would have been better if it was about me, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Should we go into that?
No, there's nothing really to say.
It was good. It wasn't like the best book I've ever read, but it was entertaining and has like a good twist.
Who do
at
you
the
think
end.
she
For
put
those
as
who
Margo?
don't know, by the way,
I
who are
don't
listening, the book, the names of the book, like the characters are
Yeah.
supposed to be Margo, Jackie, Claudia.
But they have no similarities to any.
No, I don't think they
of
were written about us. Like, I think she was
no,
just
it's
coming up
really
with names. It was
wasn't.
like, oh, Margo, Jackie, Claudia. And then, like, the legal team was like, you actually can't do that.
And they're
she's
not.
like, okay.
They're not sisters. They're foster sisters.
Okay, they're
Yeah.
still sisters.
But you just
I
can't
don't
read it because you're just.
No, I can read it. I don't think I've ever read a Sally Hepworth book.
Well,
Said it on air.
would you have read it if it was your name?
100%. 100%.
You would have had it framed, probably.
Yeah, literally. What do you mean?
It would have been cool.
It's just
Yeah.
crazy because you guys are like so like secretive. Like you don't announce a lot of things. You don't talk. About
No,
things,
literally,
you know?
it's so true.
It's really like the day before, and half the times like friends don't even know.
yeah.
And then the one time you guys actually talk about something,
like,
and then the next
far
day,
in advance. By the way, goes to show we're normally right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
is true.
yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, crazy. It's so awkward.
That's actually really funny.
I don't think you would have wanted to be any of the characters.
I don't really think I would have cared. I
No, they all had like deep issues.
But I have deep issues.
Not that deep.
Mm.
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 Guess you'll have to be the judge of that.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to summer reads.
Summer reads. Okay. Lessons in Chemistry.
Did you watch the show?
Yeah, Maddie Zott is. My daughter isn't like her.
Obsessed.
Like,
That was the best show I've seen in so long.
Yes.
I watched it
Mhm.
all in a
Very
day.
good.
It was so. I liked the show better than the book. I've never felt that way. Like,
by the way,
it-
I don't like disagree. I actually do agree with that. Like,
Yeah.
the show was so well done. No, it was so good. No, I'm literally obsessed with Maddie Zott.
They didn't personify the dog enough in
Agree.
the show, like they did in
Agree.
the book, which I don't know how they would have, but it
Well,
was so cute.
What's weird about it is that for those listening, in this book, they personify the dog. Okay, but it
Mhm.
doesn't feel corny.
No, it
No,
doesn't.
That's
6:30.
the
Oh,
craziest part. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
my
good
gosh.
memory.
yeah.
It's such
Yeah.
a good book.
It's such a good book. Book. Okay, then I had Everything I Know About Love, Dolly Alderton. I just think it's a good beach read, like
Mhm.
easy, nothing too
Mhm.
serious where you're gonna cry. And then honestly, any of my romance ones
Would work.
would work. Yeah.
Um, I may have skipped that category.
So did I. It's called improv.
Oh yeah, no, I was
improv.
I'm just being honest.
called
Just on the
improv.
top of your head, if
Yeah.
anything comes to
It's
mind.
called improv.
I would say Lessons in Chemistry is a good summer read. I would say any Frida McFadden book because they're just quick.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Sarah Confino Goodman.
Don't Forget to Write would be a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into your new
Obsession.
Yes. So
She's like, I've been waiting for you to ask.
I don't.
I screenshot your story the other day to get the book.
Oh yeah, it comes out in August.
She got the advance.
Yeah, just so you know, she actually got the advanced readers.
I'm her
copy.
biggest fan.
Yeah.
I don't know how I found it honestly, but she had 3 books out. Don't Forget to Write, She's Up to No Good, and another one that was a little bit different than the 2, but they all take place in those 2 take place in like the 1960s, so it's like old Jewish like culture.
Yeah.
She's really, really funny and witty, and all her characters are like so well written and they don't come off as corny at all. Like I laugh at what they say.
Yeah.
Like it's my humor. And they have like the love story component, but they're not smutty at all.
All, which is hard for me.
But it's still like really nice stories.
Yeah.
Also
Did you get
what
past that, Margo, or no?
I can. When worth it, you know?
Yes.
When if it's like
must be really well done.
yeah, if it's like a tale as old as time, and I'm like, okay, I
Yeah.
can get behind it. You know?
And she like weaves the characters into all the books, but not in the sense you have to read them, but she'll mention one character, like remember Ada, the aunt that Don't Forget to Write was about.
Yes.
So this book is about her other niece. And so they like kind of reference it and I don't want to give away.
Yeah, don't give it away.
But,
So I'll read it.
so I love her books, and I actually learn a lot. Like I think she's also really intelligent, and she kind of like throws that in there with the plots. So highly recommend. They're very easy to read, page turners. So good beach reads.
I've never heard you speak so highly of an
No,
author.
same.
I
She doesn't even talk about
really-
me like that.
Yeah.
You're not an author.
Yeah, I'm also like, I don't deserve
It's
it.
writing. See what she- see
No,
what she
because
say.
I can't believe that I don't find anything she writes corny. Like it's hilarious.
I need to read.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm in a book rut, like really bad.
Same.
That will get you out of it.
No,
I
you know what kind of just got me out of it? Just for the summer, Abby
Love.
Jimenez.
Oh,
Love.
Talk about a beach read.
Talk about a beach
I got that
read.
from you.
Abby Jimenez is like my top off. I mean,
By the way, she's
one of my
she's
top.
crushing it.
Very good. Yeah. we
every
should-
book I pretty much rated every single book a 5-star or 4.5.
Yeah, I gave it
I
5
think
stars.
one book got a 4.5. Every other book 5 stars. I love her.
Yeah.
Part of
Except you
your-
know what I didn't love? Except oh no, sorry, that was Allie Hazelwood. Check and mate.
Haven't seen or haven't read.
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it.
I didn't-
Love Hypothesis was on my list. I took it off, but I did love that.
I did love
That's a good
yeah.
summer read, actually.
Love
Mhm.
Hypothesis, yeah.
I weirdly love Beach Read by Emily Henry, but I don't like Emily Henry.
Mm.
Like I don't know why, but I read it in 2020, so I probably wouldn't.
I think if you read it
Yeah.
now, you wouldn't like it.
Really
Because I read it like in like 2022.
hated it.
Hated it.
That's just so dark. Like,
But I also think I have this problem where if it's a book that like is currently trending and like everyone is like, oh my God, this book is amazing, like I'm gonna hate it. Because
Yeah.
I'm a contrarian, but also because my expectations are so impossibly high.
Yeah,
That-
that's totally fair.
Yeah.
anything Ellen Hildebrand, like I love 5-Star Weekend, The Perfect Couple, but she's like Queen of Beach Reads, but it's similar to your favorite author because she creates a world and there's the
Mhm.
same, like the chief of police, like there's certain like crazy, like Susan, like there's certain characters that are in all the books. You're just on like.
Did you read the
Nantucket.
new one, Swan Song?
Yeah.
How was it?
I liked it. I liked 5-Star Weekend better.
Is that your favorite of
5-Star Weekend, for whatever reason, was my favorite. I don't know if I just read it at the exact time that I wanted to read a book like that. I feel like
That'll
so
do
much
it.
of how you feel about a book is the time that you read it.
1,000%.
And I just loved it. It was really like wholesome. Remember when everyone was obsessed with Eliza Starts a Rumor? When that was like a random book that like went on?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just kind of like a wholesome, random like neighborhood read. And that was kind of how 5-Star Weekend was.
You guys like keep talking about these books that I feel like I live under a rock. Like I've never heard of them. You're like, oh, that one that everyone said.
It was
Like,
books
you guys
that
have
we
your
were-
own like book world.
it
No,
was,
I
like,
feel like you should know.
2020. It was early
No
days.
idea.
When did you start Halp Reads?
2020 before COVID,
Hmm.
January.
But I feel like it was before you guys were like attached to that.
We weren't
Oh,
even.
right.
We didn't even really know each other.
Yeah.
Makes
So
sense.
like I think it was prior to that. Oh, I also put Every Summer After Carly Fortune.
Okay, so
Oh,
here's-
wait.
Here's my thing with that though, is that Every Summer After and Love in Other Words
It's the
are
same book.
legitimately the same book and the same plot, and Love in Other Words is so much better. So I will not add Every Summer After to any of my lists because if I were to, it
That's
would be Love in Other Words.
By the way, you're right about that, but this is just I was thinking more I'm wrong in putting that on that list because this is a master list. I was more so giving a rec. Yeah, and I read Love in Other Words probably like early 2021, and that was one of the best books ever. And so I didn't even like really put it together. I read Every Summer After so much later that it didn't feel like it was the same.
Oh, that I remember you
you
said
read
that.
it directly after.
I read Love in Other Words after Every Summer
Oh,
After.
yeah.
So you would think that I would like Every Summer After better because I was used to this plot already and I would have been like, oh, this is the same thing. This is so stupid. But Love in Other Words was so much better that I didn't care.
Wait, that's so interesting.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
It's like The Housemaid in Lost Mrs. Parish. It's the exact same book.
I never read Lost
I
Mrs.
can't get
Parish.
into this again.
We
It's
can't
the
get into this again.
craziest Thing.
Oh, 'cause
We
it's the
have to
same
just
book.
touch on it, guys. If
Yeah.
you don't know, and I love Frida McFadden, she's like easily my favorite thriller author. Every book of Frida McFadden's exists already. It's already another book.
Yeah.
Every single one. Like,
Has
go
anyone
down
ever
the
tried to like
TikTok-
go after her?
I think she gets a pass because which we talked about this before, but she writes books for like neuro patients.
Oh,
to get them
right.
back into reading. So she's doing something like
She
really
makes it more
specific,
digestible, right?
where it's
Mhm.
like a page turner. It's quick. It's easy to consume. And I think it's like a pattern that she wants to get her patients to read all those books. So like we can't fault her for it,
That's
but she
fair.
does take plot lines. She took The Perfect Son was Jacob,
Yeah. The,
defending Jacob.
yep.
The Housemaid is Last Mrs. Parish.
and here's the thing: if anyone's gonna get sued here, realistically, it's probably me for
There's
Frida
one
McFadden
more.
for defamation. Even though I love her,
Literally, by the way, this is all legend.
This is a legend. This is a legend.
No, she's an amazing author for
She
sure.
really is. Like the books are so good. Like, you should still read them,
Yeah.
but just make sure you haven't read the ones that they're based on
Yeah, that's
first,
fair.
Yeah.
or at least like
space
spread them out. Yeah. But I loved The Last Christmas Parish, but it was my first book I
Yeah.
read to get back into reading.
Right. So when did you read it?
2020, like probably
Okay.
March 2020. So I wonder if I would have liked The Housemaid better if I knew. But The Housemaid was ruined for me because I knew what was going to happen because I figured it out at page
right.
1.
I read Mrs. Parrish in like 2018.
Oh, wow.
So I don't
So ahead
even
of the
know.
times.
Yeah. She's actually can't even relate. She read it so long
Yeah.
ago.
No, I don't even know what I would think now.
Yeah.
That's all. I remember it very well. I thought it was like one of the best books.
No, it felt really groundbreaking.
Mhm.
You know?
It was like one of those twists that actually had your jaw on the ground,
Yes.
which doesn't happen anymore.
I know.
It really
it's
doesn't
rare.
happen anymore. But I also
It
feel
does
like
in
it's
the
because we
inmate.
are getting smarter. Like, I feel like you can, like, see things coming.
Yeah.
You won't see the inmate coming.
All right, we got to read
Everyone,
the
You have to
Inmate.
read the inmate.
Okay, let's go with books to cry to.
Okay, I didn't actually make this list, but I can give you.
Okay, this book is literally so stupid. Like, seriously. But I was sobbing, like, literally unwell. It's called 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole.
Margo.
Like, when I tell you,
I don't know why.
I tried to read that after you. and
You
I
did?
just-
No, like
it.
I can't even explain. Also, I don't know, because it's also like it was about someone who was sick and like started dating someone and like all just like, you know, that kind of vibe, which normally
Fault
is
in Our
not
Stars.
my trope at all. Like I don't like that. But I just somehow got suckered into this and like I was legitimately beside myself. Like
Okay, you were unwell.
I was I was
You were
sobbing.
crying on Instagram.
I cried on Instagram and
Crying
I posted it to feed. Like, what do you mean?
You did?
Yeah, like in a dump. Like, I cry and drink martinis. Like,
yeah.
whatever.
Oh my god. Honestly, good content.
Yeah.
So funny.
And then I had The Things We Cannot Say, Kelly Rimmer.
That's mine because I recommended that to you.
Yes.
What is that?
I'll never forget. I was on my way to a conference. It was 6 a.m. I finished it in a taxi and I had to redo my makeup, like sobbing.
Yeah.
It is so sad.
So sad. So good.
Yeah.
And then The Nightingale, Kristen Hanna.
Yeah.
Fair.
Those are my 3.
Love in Other Words.
Made you cry?
Yeah,
Happy
for some
ending.
reason. And then no, sorry, not Love in Other Words. It's Pack Up the Moon. I think Kristen Higgins. I get that one confused.
I've
There's,
never
like-
even heard of that.
I need to actually double check that and put that in the description. There was one book that like made me sob, but I read it right around the same time. I think it's Pack Up the Moon.
Okay.
Pretty positive. It's not Love in Other Words.
No, I was like, that was a love story.
Yeah.
You should read The Things We Cannot Say.
Oh my God.
Oh, I need to. Honestly, Renee Carlino's the one that I was saying, This Used to Be Us or whatever.
Yeah.
That book will make you sob. It
Oh,
honestly, like,
Wait, is The Things We, I would get them confused. The Things We Cannot Say and The Things We Leave Unfinished. Which one's
guys,
the one about
we
like
need
the
to find new words.
It's such
which
it's
one's
true.
which one's the one about like the like sister?
That's The Things We Leave Unfinished.
Yeah.
The Things We Cannot Say was a World War II book
Yes.
about the autistic son. He has like the iPad in the hospital, and then it goes back to the story, and they're not Jewish. That was like one of the interesting points. It's like a Holocaust story, but not centered around a Jew. You
And
definitely cried.
This
I know
is the
for
one I
sure.
should read.
Yeah, it's a great book.
No, I remember loving it and also loving The Things We Leave Unfinished.
It's told from the eyes of a devout Catholic in Nazi-occupied Poland, and it's told in dual timelines. Alina, in 1942, and Alice in modern times. Alice is dealing with a stressful home life with an autistic son, a marriage in crisis, and her grandmother's stroke. So I wrote when I first started the account, I like wrote 2 sentences because I was so nervous. I didn't want people to think I was ruining books for them. Like, she gets really mad.
Mhm.
So this was a very short bio, but it's like goes back and forth. And then remember, she meets the grandma or something. They go back and they meet someone from the story.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's
I
when you
remember them
cry.
going back.
It's an amazing book.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll read that.
Oh, it was an amazing book. The Things We Cannot Say was so good. Also, The Things We Leave Unfinished.
Yeah.
Like, I know they sound
Oh
the
my
same,
God.
but like they're not.
No, The Things You Leave Unfinished. I actually remember where I was when I finished that book. I had like a hair appointment that day or something. I was clearly traveling because I went and got a spray tan after.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading the book in the hair appointment and I couldn't finish it. And then I drove and I was like speeding so I could sit in the parking lot and read. And then I went and I got my spray tan and I was like the least social I've ever been because I couldn't stop thinking about the book. I was 10 minutes from my house and I sat in the parking lot and I finished the book.
That's
Because I
such a
was-
By the way,
good
that's the
sign.
best
Yes.
feeling, though.
Oh my God. And then I was just like distraught.
No,
Yeah.
if you can picture where you finished a book,
Mhm.
that means it was a good book.
Yeah, most of the time it's in my bed.
But you
Same.
can still picture the memory.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when I went through my like Rebecca Yarros kick and I was like sobbing over those books.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was The Last Letter or In the Likely Event, but I was in my pool and I remember finishing it at like in the afternoon and crying and it was like 100 degrees out, and I'm sitting in my pool crying, and it's 3 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I love crying from books. It's my favorite thing ever.
Me
For
too.
a good cry, which we said, Night Road. Like,
Oh,
that's another one I vividly remember. I was like choking from it.
Yeah.
It was so sad.
I gotta reread it.
When's the last time you cried over a book?
1,000 Boy Kisses.
Not anytime recently. I don't know what that means. But
Yeah, not anytime.
See,
recently.
bad writing or really tough.
Or
You
you're
are
getting
really
smarter.
tough.
Yeah.
You're so scary.
That's why it's crazy that you love this author so much.
She's amazing.
You just like don't like anyone that much.
She's really great. New reader.
New readers.
Mm-hmm.
You know how? What's shocking that we haven't said this one yet?
What?
7 Husbands.
Because
That's on my list.
It's on both. It's on my all-time and it's on my new readers
Yeah,
list.
same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't understand people who don't like that book. I don't see how you couldn't like Seven
Same.
Husbands.
But also another book. Scared to reread it.
I actually think like that's
It
one
stands
book
the
I'm
test
pretty
of time?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think so.
I feel like it would.
I hope so.
I really think so.
I loved that.
Like when they make that movie, they better do a good job.
I remember where I was when I finished that one too.
Whoever did lessons in chemistry needs to do
yeah.
Seven
it's
Husbands.
That's a tough one.
Really? I don't think it is. It's
I
like
did.
glamorous old Hollywood. Like
But it has to be so perfect.
I think it's gonna be tough, but
Yeah.
honestly, they can do it.
they can do it. Whoever they are, they can do
They
it.
can do it.
You know who would be good actually as Evelyn Hugo? Sydney Sweeney.
I always imagined her as like dark hair.
No, she's
No, I
blonde
pictured
with
her as
big
blonde. I
boobs.
agree.
Evelyn Hugo's blonde, big boobs.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Who's
Like
the redhead?
Marilyn.
Celia St. James, right?
Yeah.
She's redhead.
Okay, I have Seven Husbands as well. What's your next one?
Wait,
I had
we're
lessons
doing
in-
new readers. right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
I had lessons in chemistry.
Okay, I had Before We Were Strangers.
I had 7 husbands. I have Lisa Jewell books. She's not my favorite anymore, but I went through a phase with her, and I think those are like easy books to get into reading with a good
Agreed.
twist.
Mm.
Sarah Confino Goodman, obviously.
Any Colin Hoover book.
Yeah. Too Good to Be True. I think Corolla Lovering.
Oh my God, Too
right?
Good to Be
She's-
True. I loved that book.
Yeah, she's also like a pretty consistent. Like all her books are good.
And also, sorry, you know what romance book I love too that I forgot to put on here? One Day in December by Josie Silver. You
Nope.
Loved.
didn't like
Horrible
it?
book.
What?
Oh my god, I loved it.
What?
Yeah, I don't even remember what it's about.
I actually remember everything.
I
The
remember
radio
it. I
station,
loved
like
it.
all of it.
Cover, right?
It was
It's a-
purple.
Blue.
Purple.
You
I-
must be colorblind.
No, I read it on. I
have
read
a
it.
photographic memory. It's blue.
blue.
Since the fuck when? I read it not on Kindle.
It's dark blue.
Okay, to be fair, it's kind of a bluish purple.
Oh,
That's
it is.
blue.
No, that's kind of purple.
Well, honestly, no, the more I'm looking at it, it's blue.
One day.
Well, I don't know. What do you guys think? What are I panning to?
That's blue.
That's purple.
Okay, so then maybe we see different colors because this is purple, the background, and that's blue.
There's different shades of purple. Do you know that?
No, I had no idea.
I see why you would think it's purple.
Wait,
but
no,
it's not.
look. It's blue.
That's not the. But I'm talking about the one on the left.
It's still blue.
Guys, you have to put this to a poll. Like, I'm sorry.
Is the sky
Yes,
purple?
that is obviously blue. Duh. That is purple. And also, I had it in person, like in hand, and it was purple. Anyway, great book.
It's good. I think anything Frida McFadden is really good to
Yes.
start with.
Yeah.
I put To Love Jason Thorne on this one.
Yeah, by the way,
Yeah,
I
that's
also
good.
had Everything I Know About Love. I feel like
Uh-huh.
if you're just like, also, it depends what kind of reader you are.
You know the trend that's going around that's like Thought Daughter, like Thought, like THOUGHT.
No.
They like drink black coffee and they're more intellectual. Like that would be a good one for the.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I also had Midnight Library, Matt Haig.
I did not like
I
the book.
What?
I
fucking
know.
loved that book. You never read it? Oh, we
I didn't even finish it.
I
Um,
love that
I
book.
know,
It
it's so
stuck with me
dark.
so much.
Back to Everything I Know About Love. She has a new book. I think it's called Good Material.
Mhm.
It's supposed to be really good.
Okay.
Need to read.
I really like her. She like made me feel good.
Yeah.
It's a good book to read in your 20s.
It's like the best book. If you like want to read a book about your 20s, that's the only book really that you should read.
Yeah, agreed. Should we do series? Even though I'm like,
And then we'll do all time.
yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I just want to make
So
sure
my
there's
series
anything
going
on
through
there.
quick, Magnolia Parks, which I don't need to talk about because I've talked about it.
Never
many times
read
on this podcast. That's my top all time.
It's a series.
no comparison. Yeah, there's 5 books. It'll be
Like,
7.
do you think I would
Five?
like it?
I do, Margo. I do, but the reason that I'm always so hesitant is because like this is my favorite book series in the world, and if you hate it, I can't even hear it.
Yeah.
I heard it's amazing.
It's amazing,
Wait,
but
I
it's
didn't
Jessie's
know
book.
it
It's my
was
friend's
5.
book.
So when did they come out?
She released the first one in 21.
And then how long after did the next ones come out?
There's been 5 since. And she's released
Wow.
another book. Yeah,
She's really popping them
popping
out.
out. And it's
you
like
know her?
massive everywhere. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a really good friend of mine, but she's been on the show, like on this podcast, probably like 6 times.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna read it.
Actually,
wanna
if you
read
guys
it.
are listening now, she's coming back on the show in like 2 weeks. So, anyways, that's my all-time favorite,
Okay.
like of everything. And then I had The Simple Wilds, and then I had the Friend Zone series.
Okay.
The Abby Jimenez, which is like, I don't know why she titled it that, but it's good. Claudia
is
read
good.
it.
It is
Claudia
good. I
even
read
said
it.
was good, yeah.
Isn't Just for the Summer like part of it?
No, she has 3 in that Friend Zone series, and then she has the other. Oh no, Just for the Summer is a different.
Is part of a series.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it
Oh
is.
yeah, actually might be.
But it's not the Friend
You don't
Zone.
need to read it. You don't need to.
Yeah, they're all standalone books. They just have connections. They're
Yeah.
not really like a traditional series.
Yeah. Okay, I had ACOTAR.
Yeah, I just like am not an ACOTAR girl like I wish I was.
Oh
I
my
know.
god,
Did
that's
you
great.
read it or you just won't read it?
No, I read the first 2 and I like wasn't that into it. I can't believe that you ended up being an ACOTAR.
I
girl, 'cause I was
loved
trying
it.
so hard and Margo like would.
I
make fun of me.
refused. Yeah. I made fun of you. I did. I was
Yeah.
like, you're reading an
I don't have
800-page
anything
book.
against it, but I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah.
It was so good. I wish I could like.
Did you
do it
read all
over
of them?
again. Yeah.
I don't know how I missed that.
Fourth Wing, or what's it called? The Empyrean series.
Yeah,
Call it Fourth Wing. American Royals. Even though if I read it now, I think I would like think it's like
you would hate it.
yeah, but like I love the plot. Like it's such a good plot.
Do you remember when everyone read Red, White, and Royal Blue?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a good time in life.
Yeah.
but the show was so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. I watched it for 10 minutes and it was the worst thing I've ever seen.
And that's actually something that they could have
Done a good
well.
job
They
at.
really
They
well.
could have done such a good job with that, and I loved that book. Honestly, like I really did.
Yeah. A Simple Wild.
Yeah.
And then also Crossing the Line, Lucy Score. Which is
Oh
like
my
such a
God.
random
wait,
one, but
no.
it's smut
No.
central.
Margo, that book was so bad.
No, but like it served a purpose.
Some
That's
of her books I
smut.
gave 1 star.
Yeah. What?
Some of her books I give 1 star.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the
Um,
way, was there? Remind me. Oh, I never read it. There was a sequel to It Happened One Summer's Hook, Line, and Sinker, right?
I definitely read it.
But I feel like you told me you were like it was mad. Like don't bother.
I knew you weren't gonna like it, so I told you not to read it.
Mhm.
For my favorite series, I can say it's The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo books.
It would be.
It was a That was a series.
Mm-hmm.
Did they combine all of them for the movies?
No, there's 4, and then the last one, the author died while writing it, so someone else finished it.
Could
So
you
I
tell?
didn't read that one because I didn't want to. I heard it wasn't that good.
Mm.
It's tough.
Yeah,
That's
and they're
tough.
like they get lengthier and lengthier.
But by the way, when you're in it, like when you're in a series like that, like you want it to be lengthier and lengthier.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
Iron
sure.
Flame, like I was like 600 pages, not enough.
Yeah.
I was opposite. I was like, get me out of this book.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah.
I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
Okay, last category, and mine's really quick. All-time favorite books. We were doing 5 at Magnolia Parks, just like all 5.
What?
That would be my all-time.
Really?
What's
Yes,
it
I've
about?
told you this so many times. It follows. There's like a cast of friends basically, but it's like Magnolia and BJ, and there's Daisy and Christian. So there's 3 books that are centered around Magnolia, and there's 2 that are Daisy.
The main person's name is Magnolia.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I
have to fucking
actually
read it.
did tell you
But-
to do it for redheads, but I hadn't read it. But I was like, this book doesn't have any bad reviews. Like,
Her
everyone loves
writing
it.
is unbelievable. It's the best book you'll ever read. You cannot read whatever book you read after is depressing because it doesn't compare. They're so
When does
good.
it
By the way,
place.
I'm reading it. I'm still gonna start it tonight.
London.
When?
Oh, like modern day.
Okay.
No. But it's
I'm starting
so
it
good.
tonight.
I actually think I might reread it because I read it like 2020, like way before. So I
Yeah.
need to
I'm
reread it.
definitely gonna read it. I'm sold. Thank
I'm
you.
sold.
good.
I'm
But
sold.
if you
Prince-
guys like don't like it, like just don't tell me.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll just be like it was good.
Can you
Yeah.
wait a day?
Yeah, I have to finish Redheads.
Okay.
So
So we're gonna start it together.
We're
Wait,
so
okay, then
cool.
I'll
We're
restart
back.
it. We can have a
Oh,
book club.
perfect.
fun. Okay.
Next episode.
Yeah,
Okay, my all-time 7 Husbands.
fair.
Endless Love. You guys know that.
Of course.
Even though it might not even be good. By Scott Spencer. Before We Were Strangers, Renee Carlino, Love in Other Words, and then Night Road.
Great.
A runner-up was Midnight Library. That book really stuck with me. Sorry.
I need to read Night Road.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, so I wanted to make sure mine wasn't exactly the same from last time. So 7 Husbands, I think is definitely
Good.
up there. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is always my number 1. I Am Pilgrim. Did you guys read that?
Mm-mm.
Amazing book. Marjorie Post. Did you end up reading
That
it?
was
'Cause
on your
we-
top?
Yes, and we
That was a good
discussed
book.
it last time, and you were like, "We sold you on it," and you said you were going to read it. And
I
then,
forgot.
Yeah,
Ew.
yeah.
I normally do read something when I say I'm going to read it, though, so I do need to read that.
You would like Margaret
Definitely read it. It's an amazing book. I think you'd love it. And then I also had 2 others. I had My Dark Vanessa.
Oh,
Such
such
a
a
good
good book. Is that a thriller?
No.
Okay.
And Son of Hamas.
Oh, good one.
Amazing book.
Good one.
Yeah, so that's my list. Yeah, My Dark Vanessa is just, for lack of a better word, dark. It's not
Yeah,
really
I'm
a
pretty sure.
thriller.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a heavy
Did you
book.
read it?
No.
Honestly, like,
Oh my god.
prepare yourself if you ever do.
Really?
Yeah, it's like really.
Puts you in a bad headspace?
It's just like really like
It's about a
sad.
teacher taking advantage of
Oh.
a student
Student.
and like their relationship. So that's why it's like very dark.
Yeah.
But it's really well written and very thought provoking too.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is that no one had Luckiest Girl Alive on their lists anywhere.
No.
I did not think that was like.
Me neither, but
I felt like
talk
that was
about-
so overhyped.
Yeah, I was about to say, talk about a book that was way too overhyped. Like by the time I read it, and I was also on vacation with my sisters, and like Jackie had read it and was like, "This is the best book
No,
ever."
they
and
were
then,
like tattooing it to their forehead.
and
Well,
then
it's
gave it to
very
Claudia, and
old,
Claudia
right?
was like, "This is the best book ever." And then it was my turn, and I was like, "What?"
yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
It's really old, right?
Yeah,
No.
this was like, I don't know if it's really old, but this was
I
like
think within the
4
past
years ago.
yeah.
This was before anyone had kids.
No, I think it's older than that.
The book?
Yeah.
I think it's like 10 years old.
Yeah.
But honestly,
I think
it's
it
just
had like a
great.
resurgence.
It did, but I
Yeah.
think it came out when
No,
we
because
were in
Claudia and Jackie decided that they wanted to tattoo it to their forehead.
Yeah, literally.
and tell everyone to read it.
Yeah.
And it just like wasn't that good at all.
No, and the movie wasn't
Yeah, it
good
was published
either.
in 2015.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Brooke loved that book, I'm pretty sure.
Did she?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well,
It's an interesting read.
100%.
Okay, I feel like kind of good about my master list.
I feel good about it. Like, I feel like actually I'll come back to it and be like, I support that.
It's a great episode for book recommendations, like evergreen book recommendations.
Evergreen, 1,000%. Yeah, it's not too niche.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not too niche.
it's not too niche.
We're appealing to the masses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
I feel like I tried to pull from different directions.
This was the most stressful episode I've ever done. I'll
Yeah,
be
no,
honest
by the
with
way, I
you.
literally took an hour out of my workday today to like fucking
Well, 'cause
do
you don't-
homework.
Yeah, I did of my day.
I did the same last night when I landed. I was like, oh my God, I should have done this on the
Well,
plane.
because it's like
yeah, it's a good
it
plane
sticks
activity.
with you, and then you want your Rex.
Also, you want them to be good recs, because what if like I like say a
yeah,
book
what
and
if
then someone's
Margo
like,
punches you in the face?
yeah, and like I recommend a book, someone reads it and they're like,
Your name's attached to it.
Yeah.
You thought this was good, you have no taste, you're ugly.
That's actually what happens when you give someone a bad book rack. Actually, like there's nothing more like vulnerable and embarrassing than giving someone a book rack that they absolutely hate. And then
Yeah.
actually, no, the only thing that could be worse is if you gave Margo that book rack.
Yeah, no, and I'm such a tough crowd. Also, it's similar to like if you tell someone to like listen to a song.
Oh my God.
No, honestly, that one's
I would-
worse
I just-
because like songs are so personal, and especially if you're like, this is the best song, like you have to listen to it,
No,
and then they listen to it, and then
I think books worse.
well, books because it's more time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like I just like gave you a piece of my soul by telling you to read this, to listen to this song, and you don't like it.
But there's a
That makes
lot
me not
more
like
to
you.
music. Like there's the lyrics, there's
Mhm.
everything put together, there's the actual like instrumental part of it. Whereas a book, it's just like the plot has to be good or bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a friend who he reads a lot, and he just like
You have a friend.
yeah,
weird.
and
Margo's
he
mad.
just like every day he's like, I need a new rec, and anything I'll post, like I literally posted the book about like the glucose goddess, and he like reads it, and it's so much pressure, and I'm like, I'm trying to find these good books, like they're not that easy to find.
And also, by the way,
anymore.
not every book is going to be good.
Yeah, and I don't want to just give you any book and say it's good. Like I just read Darling Girls, it was okay, you know,
Yeah.
but it's tough to give people recs.
It
Mhm.
really is. So hopefully, anyone listening, I hope you guys like.
And let us
at
know what
least
you
5 of
read
them.
because of this episode.
Yeah.
I'd like to know.
And
Yeah.
what you think of them.
I
Yeah.
love getting tagged in stories of people reading a book rack.
Yeah.
And I like when they add a little blurb on if they're liking it or not, you know?
Oh yeah, they have to. I need to know
I
how
need to know.
how it's going.
But I can't reply and ask because what if they hate it and then I just got that for and I
No,
didn't
I
do that.
love when
awkward.
when someone validates what I was thinking.
Yes.
Good or bad. I'm like, I think this book was good. I need someone else to say it was good, or this book was horrible, and other people agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Best feeling.
Amazing. Okay, guys, so where can they find you?
Oh my God, you can find me at Margo Oshry, MargoShry, on all platforms. I make it easy.
And she does this every time.
I forget.
The
I have,
Redheads?
I have a book club podcast. It's called The Redheads. I do it with my sister and two of my sister's best friends. And honestly, it's a really great podcast. And it's like so much smarter than me, you know, because they're so smart. They really like lift me up.
Yeah, you guys
Um,
pull everything out of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that anyone would enjoy listening to it. And honestly, we're so funny. And I just think it's great.
I'll listen to it even if I didn't read the book.
Yeah.
Because
Really?
even if I know I don't want to read the book, I'll listen to it. It's a good
that's
comfort
sign.
listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because also we
Yeah.
give like a very detailed bio. So like, you know what happens.
Yeah.
That's true. I love listening after I read of
Yeah,
books.
me too. Like you can't wait to finish the book to listen to the episode.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so
no,
nice,
it's like
guys.
very, very like good intel from every which way, and like everyone has a different opinion.
Yeah, so true. Everyone
but you
does
guys
have
don't like fight.
just like me and Rit.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, sometimes Margo does.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
doesn't
for
get
sure.
too feisty.
No,
Yeah.
we don't get too feisty because we actually like each other.
Yeah, that's true. You can find me at Halpreads, HALP Reads. That's my Instagram.
Great bookstagram.
Great books to
Yeah, I mean, it's okay.
No, it's
no,
great.
it's good.
It's really good.
It could be better.
Just
But everything could be better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I mean, it takes a lot of time to read.
And
It takes a lot of time to write my reviews. I don't have that much time to do more.
You're doing great, sweetie.
you are okay. Love you guys.
Love you. Thank you for having us. It was
Thanks for
a
having us.
joy and a pleasure and an honor.
A joy and a pleasure and an honor. What a good
Ditto.
note to leave off
Thank
on.
you.
Love.